Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this special presentation by WayneCountyLive.com. The special presentation is getting ready for the annual North-South High School Football All-Star Game, the longest-running football game in the nation. And we are privileged to have with us the head coach of the North team this year, not only the head coach of the North, but the head coach of the Norwayne football Bobcats. Congratulations, Coach Harbour, on being chosen. And speaking of being chosen, how did you manage to land this position?
Well, thanks for the congratulations. It's a big honor. Like you said, it's a big all-star game. It's kind of a two-step process. All the local coaches go to a regional meeting by the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association, and we vote for the nominated players and the regional coach of the year. And then I was fortunate to win the regional coach of the year, and that puts me in a selection pool. That meant you're going to be on the roster, on the staff someplace, and they chose me to be the head coach this year of the, especially with the split, with there being a D1 through 3 and a D4 through 6 game. That probably opened the opportunity for me, but it's a great honor.
Coach, 13-1, WCAL champs, Final Four appearance last year, but I want to know what it means to you to be taking 5 seniors with you to this North-South game.
Well, I mentioned what an honor it was for me, but for me it's really a team honor, and that's the cool thing is I can take a large chunk of my team with me. Again, for them it's kind of a two-step process. I had to get them nominated and selected, and usually it's a little bit tougher. I mean, we'd hopefully get 1 or 2 wins still, but with the way the process worked this year and splitting it into a D1 through 3 and a D4 through 6 game, I was able to, a lot more slots opened up. So it truly is a team honor for me. I want to be in that position. If we didn't win state 2 years ago and didn't go 13-1 this year in a Final Four appearance, so it's a team recognition. So it's great to have 5 members of my team with me because I want to get this without them.
Great. It's a great honor for your team. It's not only a great honor for them, but also a great honor for the staff. Could you tell us some of your staff members or the staff members that you have coaching the game?
In the game, first and foremost, I'll mention another assistant here from Norwayne, Judah Chance, is actually going to be on the all-star staff with me. And so, again, get back to the team honor thing. It was nice to be having one of my fellow assistants with me here, be on the staff. And then we also have Coach Randy Clark from Brookfield, who we've actually played twice in the playoffs, so that's kind of interesting to get to work with him now. Coach Chris Algie from Macomb, Coach Jason Ward from Columbiana, and I'm missing one. I apologize for whoever coach that is. It'll come to me in a second, though. Coach Todd Fox from Tiffin Calvert.
Okay. So, Coach, can you tell us a little bit about some of the adjustments you had to make with having so many unfamiliar faces to coach this time?
Well, yeah, it's not like coaching a team. First of all, we only have like 5 practices before we play or something, and we kind of pick the kids almost just off a profile page and what we know and just a little bit of word around town or whatever. So we kind of walk in relatively blind. The first practice I kind of said was basically like a tryout. You're on the roster, we had to figure out who could do what and who could, kind of fit in where. And then we kind of started to place kids in positions, and you kind of have an idea because, again, they're nominated at that position, but you really got to kind of see who fits where, and it is very much a different challenge. And, of course, you keep things a lot more simple, a lot more basic because everyone's there because they're good. So it's just trying to figure out what they're going to help us best at and how we can utilize all their skills.
And, Coach, speaking of adjustments that you've had to make, and I don't want to get into technical specific things, but what kind of offensive schemes and defensive schemes do you run when you only have 5 practices?
Well, defensively, we don't have any options. The association says you have to run a 4-3 man-to-man coverage. So there's not a lot of adjustments there. It's a straight 4-3 man-to-man. They even tell you where your defensive linemen are supposed to be and your linebackers. It's all very vanilla. Offensively, it's wide open. We can do about whatever we want. The only real limit is don't go empty. So, we have, as we said, 4 different head coaches plus myself plus my one assistant makes up our staff. So we kind of got together and tried to blend everything together that we all know, we all like. But clearly, it's pretty simple stuff. We have, I think, 4 or 5 run plays. Quite a bit of passing plays, but all from just a couple basic formations. And, we don't get too advanced. We don't have a lot of time to work on too advanced stuff. But, we're going to run some basic running schemes, the zone stuff that almost every team has, a power play that almost every team has, things that the kids probably did some variation of on their own high school team. And then the passing, a little more wide open, but knowing that they have to play a 4-3 man just like we do, so we can, it gives you an advantage on offense, certainly.
Right.
Coach, you talked about all the coaches from around the area that are going to be on the staff with you, but can you tell us what role you're going to have? Are you calling the offensive plays, the defensive plays?
Normally I'd call defense, or I'm more involved in the defense. Actually, here I have an assistant I let do that. We work together, but there really is no defense to call in this game. Like I said, it's a 4-3 man-to-man coverage, so I'm kind of taking the role of the D coordinator, I guess, but there really isn't a whole lot of that to do. Coach Algie from Macomb is going to be kind of lead offense coordinator. assisted by Coach Chance here from the Norwayne Bobcats, kind of the two main guys on offense. Again, myself and kind of Coach Clark are being the defensive guys. Coach Fox is kind of helping on both sides, and so is Coach Ward. But, it's an all-star coaching staff, too. We're all good coaches. Most of us are head coaches, so we're all just kind of do it by committee. But technically, I guess I'm more in charge of the defense. But realistically, like I said, it's a 4-3 cover 0 man scheme. So probably I'll be more involved on special teams of figuring out when we want to go, when we don't want to go, all that type of stuff. But we'll do most everything by committee. Again, it's an all-star staff, too, so I don't want to take everyone's input.
Right, and of course we'll be talking to the 5 members of the Norwayne Bobcats in another spot that you can watch and get ready for this game on WayneCountyLive.com Saturday night at 7 o'clock. But Coach, in the 5 practices that you had, are there any kids that are that have really stood out for you as far as ability and coachability and personality, whatever? What kids should we watch for?
Well, you mentioned personality. The first one, there's a player from Youngstown, Ursuline, Khalid Pierce. And he actually, if you remember the game we played, he reminded me that he had the interception return also in that game. And I said, well, that's a great Khalid for bringing that up. That was a little bad memory. But he's just got a real awesome personality. He's a lot of fun. And he's also going to be a beast on the field. He plays D-end. We expect him to make a lot of noise. And actually, he's got a nice counterpart of a Kavon Green from the other side from Youngstown Christian. So 2 Youngstown area guys really we think will stand out at D-end. We have a lot of great talent. I mean, our 5 guys have stood out a lot in practice too. I mean, because the chance of I felt real good coming back, saying our guys, they definitely belong, they definitely stand out.
Great.
But personality, you mentioned Khalid stands out there. Offensively, Nick Pajakovic, I probably said that wrong, from Manchester. He does a nice job. He'll probably be the primary quarterback. We'll use a couple of different guys. Justin Dillard is a real wild card athlete. In fact, we might use him as a wildcat. He might get some touches as a receiver. We picked him up kind of late in the process, and he's a real athlete. We got to find a home for, but he stood out athletically. But again, it's an all-star game, so everyone's pretty good and everyone stands out. But those are some of the ones that came to mind off the top of my head.
Great. Well, we appreciate you sitting down and talking with us, Coach. This is Tim Keith, my partner Joe Chaffin, and we'll be bringing you the game Saturday night at 7 o'clock, WayneCountyLive.com.